Hey, I'm Peter with verybusy.io, and if you're a retoucher who got invited to a project, I'm going to show you how to get started. First off, let's talk about access. You're probably invited either via public share link or an email invite. Either way, you're going to have to get into the actual project or within the platform. Via the email invite, you will need an account. I do recommend setting one up, a free verybusy.io account, especially if you have multiple projects going on, because then you will get a nice dashboard like this where you can manage all your projects at once. Now, let's talk about the projects themselves. When you're on your project dashboard, you will see that we have a little project card here, name, we have label capabilities here. So whoever you're working with could set a status of the actual project, priority tags, and most importantly for us as retouchers, we're going to look at our unresolved mentions and unresolved comments. This is also unresolved markups. So in this project right now, I can see that I have one @mention at myself. So somebody @mentioned me within a comment, and I have 5 unresolved comments. So let's click into this project. So once clicking in, you can see my assets are here for the project. We do support folders, so you may have a folder structure in here, again, depending who you're working with and how they've set your other project up. Now, when you look at the thumbnails for the specific images, similar to our actual project thumbnails, we do have label capabilities here. So depending on who you're working with, they may have status labels or assignment labels. You'll be talking with whoever you're working with to figure out the workflow there. But again, probably the most important thing we kind of look at as retouchers when entering a new project is what needs my attention. And that's why we have our little icons here again, just like the project thumbnails. So I can see in this image, there's one @mention for me, and there are 4 unresolved comments. Now we do have an actual notifications bar here, which you can go through and get a nice digest of everything that's gone on in each project. But we find most our users benefit from is visually looking at projects and seeing what needs to be done. To add on to that, another very valuable feature is our filters panel. So from here, a common solution for entering a project is, hey, I want to quickly see all my unresolved comments. So these are all the images that have feedback from the people I'm working with, whether the art director, creative director, photographer. These are the ones that left feedback for me on. So these are the ones I want to focus on. You can also filter by my @mentions. So I have one @mention in here. So if you want to run through and address anything that @mentioned you, usually it's a reply to a comment or something like that. So you can go through and pay attention to that. You can also, of course, filter by labels. So if I want to see anything that's ready for retouching, I don't have anything. Let's do this, ready for retouching. You can filter by this. So if your client tagged it as ready for retouching, you can go in and quickly filter and just focus on those images. So take a look at the filters panel. Very valuable, very great way of organizing and finding what needs your attention. You also have sort capabilities within filtering as well. So pay attention to that. If any documents are uploaded, like a creative deck or references and stuff, we do have a documents tab here. It keeps them separate from the assets right now. So you can go over to this panel and find anything you need there. So from here, let's jump into an image and see what it's like receiving the feedback. I'm going to jump into this one here that has one @mention and 4 unresolved comments. So this is what we call our markup view. Breadcrumb up here, and then you can see we are in round 0. So this is the original image they uploaded. It hasn't been retouched yet. It's for me to retouch. Sometimes if your files haven't been set another way, you want to download this one because this will be the high res that you're going to be actually working on. So you can hit your download. Just remember to always set it to original. You want to download that original file, the full res file that they uploaded for you. Next, the main thing we're going to really look at here as retouchers is our comments bar. Now you can see here, I have 4 different comments here, which are all linked to markups. Now the nice thing about our platform for retouchers is not hunting for these markups. So when you click on a markup, one click, it's going to zoom in and frame it for you. So this one is remove reflections. If I go down here, remove, this is such a tiny little markup, it'd be hard to find on your own. So this actually zooms in and shows you exactly where that markup is. I'm going to zoom out a bit so you can see. So click on the markup, it'll bring you right to it. You can address it, when you have the file open in Photoshop, retouching, clean it up. Now, once you address each markup, be sure to resolve it. Because what this does now, let's say I addressed all these right here. When I go back to my main view, it says now I only have one comment or one unresolved comment because I already resolved the other one. So if say I'm not sure about a certain comment from a client or I had to come back to it, I can leave that one unresolved and I'll always have a marker here saying, hey, you still have one unresolved markup to come address here. So jumping back into it, here's that @mention I have. So once this is resolved, say there's a little thread here, because you can actually reply to these. So if you have questions, you can mention the art director saying, hey, what do you mean by this? Or, hey, can I get this reference? But once this thread is resolved, then our @mention goes away. So now we can see this file has been resolved of all comments and markups, and that @mention has been resolved as well. What does that mean? Well, we're ready to upload our next round. I have addressed all those markups and comments. So the great thing about Very Busy is you can batch upload. So let's say I went through and I resolved all comments in all these images, and they're all ready to be uploaded. I can simply, I want to unresolve these or unapprove these because we can't upload new images once they're approved. So I'm going to batch upload, let's call it my round 2 images. I know it's round 0 right now, but let's just say it's round 2 for me. I'm going to drag and drop here, and you're going to see a couple things here. Now, if all the files had the exact same extension and had the exact same file name, they would automatically just stack, and you would see a little progress bar of uploading. But now, as you can see with these, I have an underscore round 2 on these. So for those of you who in your production side of things, your production files, you're renaming each round like underscore round 2 or underscore V3. Very Busy can still match these files up to batch update. So you can see here, it matched all these files up with the new ones coming in, even though they were named differently. This also works with different file types if you're going to upload a JPEG or a TIFF instead of a JPEG. So you can see here, this modal pops up for you just to clarify exactly what you want to do with these matches. So we have the old file here, new file here with round 2. I do want to upload it as a new round. You do have the option to upload it as a new asset. So it won't stack, and the history of that file won't be intact. It'll be 2 separate images. But for this purpose, I want a new round because this is going to be the next round for my client to review. So this all looks great. I'm going to continue upload. You'll get your upload box. As you can see here, they come funneling in. And we just updated our whole entire project. We are now round 1 on all these, as you can see. So let's go back to that one. We were looking at this one. So now you can see here, we have our original here. Here's our round 1. I'm going to show all comments from the top of this comment bar, and you can see if I had more round 1 stuff, it would appear here. But the nice thing here is I can go back when I view all comments, and I can see my old, I'm going to hide markups right here for now. I can see my old markups where they were against the old comments, against the new image. So I can compare and make sure everything was addressed correctly if you wanted to QA your own images. It's great for the art directors and photographers, creative directors who are also reviewing as well. Now, from here, the art director would come in and give you your next round of markups, and then you would have on your thumbnails, you'd see the new updates happening. You'd also get an email digest, depending on, if you have your own account. That's another reason to set up a free account, is you can get custom notifications, which I can show you here, which is great because you can actually get them, once per day, once per hour. Once per hour is by default, but every 15 minutes is also an option too, which is nice. And you can also control exactly what kind of updates you're getting. Now let's run back in here quick. So I uploaded this. This is my new one. Again, you can before and after. You can do side-by-side comparison if you want. But this is our second round that's up now. Fantastic. So these review rounds will kind of keep going and going and going until your client hits that approved button. So once you see that approved button, you can see now the thumbnail turns green. It has a little approved on it. Then depending on who you're working with, maybe they want you to upload finals here. Maybe you have been uploading high-res TIFF, so that is the final. Or maybe they have somewhere else, so like their DAM system, they need you to upload the finals to. So depending on who you're working with, that's the clarification you need to get on where these finals will go. But in a nutshell, this is the basic way as a retoucher entering into a project, what you need to pay attention to. Entering in, make sure you're looking at and utilizing the filters to see, all unresolved comments. And then working through this, pay attention to emails because you'll get digests of what has happened within a project. So if you see that new feedback came in, then you can go ahead and jump into the platform and address it. And then depending on who you're working with, pay attention to labels because sometimes these will be the status updates. These will be the assignments. Depending on the workflow of your clients, this is what you're going to have to pay attention to as well. So hopefully this was a good quick overview for you as a retoucher when you first jump in, what to pay attention to. You can always email us at support@verybusy.io if you have any questions, or the question mark up here in the upper right-hand corner. Hit messages and you can message us. Create a message. We're here all the time. We can help you out with anything you need. Thanks, and happy retouching.